this point. Well, now he is, but I mean, when he
back
first...
in the day,
when he first started...
Because he was trying to save the universe from something.
Well, he was nuts. He was pretty much genocidal to begin with, and then he was trying to. In the Infinity Gauntlet, the first one, he was already dead, and Death had decided had realized that more people were born in the universe than had actually ever died since the beginning, and figured this was an imbalance. So she told Thanos, who was already dead, and he was already in love with her, that this needs to be rectified, and I'm going to send you back.
Things.
Oh yeah.
But to do that, he decided he needed the Infinity Stones, and that's when he went to gather them, and then became her better and all that other stuff.
And then she got bent out of shape.
Yeah, they all got bent out of shape.
Somewhat literally.
But yeah, he's always been nutso. When you first saw him, he didn't seem so bad. He seemed almost like a little bit of a hero, but he was really just trying to preserve his own. He knew, like the Magus, which was Adam Warlock's other future self, was going to interfere with his goals. So he had to get rid of that. You know what I mean? He was really only securing his own.
So he wasn't really a villain, but he just looked down for his own interests.
At the beginning, but then he really became genocidal.
Okay.
You know.
But almost very all-powerful genocidal.
Oh yeah, and that was he kept getting more powerful, and then eventually got the stones, the gems.
Did him and Galactus ever mix up with each other?
Only when that I know of. Only when he had the Infinity Gems, and of course Galactus lost because that's kind of the point of the Infinity Gems. But I don't think they ever really went at it when he didn't have that.
That'd be interesting.
That'd be interesting, yeah.
Yeah, but the Infinity Gems you can do anything with.
Yeah.
So it would be a no contest.
So you could beat anybody if you had the Infinity Gems.
As long as you were kind of able to outthink them to some degree. The idea being that if you get all the gems together, if someone wants to take you out, you got to do it right away before they get accustomed to using all the gems and realizing just how much ability they have.
Because in the Gauntlet book, he said, snapped his fingers basically, and half all the life was gone.
Yeah.
And then it came back.
Yeah.
It took care of the overpopulation problem, I guess.
But only for a little bit.
Only for a little bit. Yeah. Then he brought them all back.
Until Adam Warlock got a hold of it and reset everything back to where it was.
So what about Adam Warlock then? He said he's the other wild card of the
Marvel universe. Yeah.
Why? What makes him the wild card?
The same thing that makes Thanos the wild card. They're just too.
Is it because he controlled the Infinity Stones at one time?
Yeah, to some degree. He always was a little bit of the wild card type of thing. I think Jim Starlin kind of figured that out. I don't know for sure, but I kind of think he figured that out long before they got to the point where they were doing the Infinity Gems and the Gauntlet and stuff like that. He probably had that in his mind to begin with.
I mean, like, what's his deal? I mean, I know he comes out of some kind of pod.
Cocoon, yeah.
And he fights this Universal Golden Church people.
Well, originally he was created, and he was just called him by the super science. He's supposed to be the super guy. And Thanos had used the gems, but he had them. He didn't know didn't know exactly what they were, and he was using them as a giant power beam, and he ended up creating Earth and Counter-Earth, and then Adam Warlock defended Counter-Earth against the Hate Monger and things like that, and that's when he went through all his trials and kind of became the Adam Warlock that,
Okay.
And his powers developed. Yeah. He got a little bit more mystical. When he first came out, he was just kind of like your basic superhero type of thing. And then he got more mystical powers, and that's when he picked up the Soul Gem and had a connection with it. And then you got the Adam Warlock stuff that led up to more things with Thanos.
And somewhere along the way, he ends up with the Infinity Stones and leads the charge against Thanos, right?
Yes, yeah.
And that's how Thanos ends up getting defeated.
Yeah.
At the end of the whole storyline.
Yeah. He has the Soul Gem, and he gets sucked into the Soul world for a long time, and he comes out to when Thanos gets the gauntlet, then he has to come back.
I'm sure they'll bring him in the movie because of the Guardians.
I would think they would, but I don't know. I mean, he's a huge part of the whole Infinity thing.
They're going to do 2 movies.
And,
2 parts.
I like the Guardians coming into the Avengers. That looks...
Yeah. I mean, they may or may not. I just hope they don't kind of do the thing where it's like, okay, here's Adam Warlock, he saves the day. It's like, and everybody, it's like, who the hell's Adam Warlock, We'll see what happens, I don't know.
We have Star-Lord, we don't need Adam Warlock. Not in the movies.
Not in the movies. All right, so we're thinking...
So basically that was, on today's episode, the 2 wild cards in the Marvel Universe, Adam Warlock and Thanos.
Thanos, yeah. Both representatives of Master Order and Lord Chaos. But you never know who's playing for who.
It's almost like a yin and yang.
Yeah.
Although not necessarily...
Balanced.
Right.
That's the point. As long as it's balanced, everything's okay. But each one becomes an agent of either Order or Chaos, depending on what they're doing, because they, either one could be either or.
So those 2 characters, how are they related to Adam Warlock? The
Master Order and Lord Chaos.
Because it's all that
they're
stuff.
both agents of them. They're like super entities that are out there that help, cornerstones of reality type of thing, and when they're both in balance, everything's okay. But if there's too much chaos, it's too much chaos and destruction. If there's too much order, the same thing. New things can't come about because it's all structured in order.
So those are just the major players then.
They're like a physical,
they're
like a physical representative of those perspectives of the Marvel Universe. And at any one point in time, they use different agents to accomplish their tasks.
What about Infinity?
The female part of Eternity?
In Eternity, what about those 2 characters? The space
They're the living
dude.
embodiment of reality.
And then there's that gold dude. That's all.
The Living Tribunal.
That's it. I was drawing
He's
a blank
supposed to
on his name.
represent a higher authority than even Infinity and Eternity.
Well, these are all characters that if you read the Infinity Gauntlet, you'll see their names and see their appearance, so you have an idea of who they are and what they do in the world of Adam Warlock in the cosmic play into the Marvel Universe.
I thought there were 3 sets of comics. There's Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity
War, and Crusade.
And Crusade. I knew there's 3 ones. I just can't remember what they were. They were a decent read.
Yeah. In Infinity Gauntlet, Adam Warlock tries to become the best leader he can, and so he splits all good and all evil off of him. Hence we get the Magus, which is the evil side, and that's where we get Infinity War, and then Infinity Crusade is the goddess side, his more feminine side, but she's just as bad, as far as wanting to control everything and having no real freedom.
Now, did that take place after Infinity Wars? Then they had the Infinity Watch, where he had the jump.
The
Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity
it was Gauntlet War, then Crusade, and the Infinity Watch was pretty much after Gauntlet when they broke up the gems.
That's what I thought, yep.
And Adam Warlock created the watch that had Gamma in it, and
each
Pit
person
Patrol
had a different
gemstone. And Thanos ended up with the Reality
Infinity Stone.
Yeah.
Why would you give that guy his stone again?
Because he was powerful enough to be able to control it.
Well,
they needed somebody
to defend it from other people, but you actually need all the other stones to control the Reality Stone. So if you just have the Reality Stone, you can't do a lot with it. You can do things with it, but you can't control. You don't have control. You need the other ones to be able to do it. So it's not very.
Yeah.
And
after all, Thanos was the one that defeated the 5 people previously that held him.
And plus, he had come to a realization in his life that he's not supposed to have all that power, because he had already achieved it 3 times.
So he had stepped down from his villain role there and was more...
To some degree.
Not really a hero, but...
Yeah.
He realized his place in the universe.
Was not to rule it.
No.
But he's back. Again.
Again and again and again. Because he's Thanos. He's the Mad Titan.
So you guys think you got that all worked out then?
I guess.
Sure.
I guess leave your comments in the space below. And like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks.